Hey there boys and girls, Lucky here and welcome back to another CSGO video. Today we're going to talk about on how to deal with P90 players, since for many people that seems to be an issue, so now let's talk about that. So first of all, I want to say that mostly the P90 is a problem for players below DMG, because at the DMG rank you usually expect it to be able to stutter step and fire like that, so you know to go for the headshots and to control your spray and stuff like that. And you can see that's a very tight pattern. You can get like many accurate shots down range. However, below DMG, people are still learning how to stutter step, how to counter strafe, how to aim, crosshair placement, all of that stuff. So of course it's easier to just use a weapon who can do something like this. Oh, we got to reload, so okay, there we go. Something like this. You see the recoil is fairly tight, and you do not have to, well, control it all that much. The fire rate is also very high, and you can also use it on the go when running. So if you're trying to just hit the sign there, just start firing. And of course it's also wallbang, that's why the shots are hitting behind there. But we can get lots of shots down there. Same goes for the other shield there. So it's very easy to use. Now the thing with the P90 is, as soon as you're hitting someone, like if you're firing down range, like with that many bullets, at one point or another you're just bound to hit something. For example, this guy right here. So if you're firing at him, at one point or another, he's tagged. And as soon as he's tagged, he's slowed down. So instead of being all cheeky and bunny hopping around, you all of a sudden like, I'm stuck. He's slowing me down because he's hitting you. And that's the first thing that people are having issues with. The P90, since it's just like spraying like so many bullets in like such a short period, you're being tagged. And of course, as soon as you're tagged, you're kind of having a hard time. Usually that would not be a problem, but positioning is a big problem in low ranks, meaning that usually you would be holding an angle like this, waiting for a guy, peeking like that, and at a lower angle you might be like all out in the open like that. And as soon as you're being tagged and you kind of miss your spray and you cannot control your spray, the P90 player has the upper hand because you do not know how to control your spray properly. You're just firing and trying to hit him and you're not hitting him, and then you're trying to get back to cover to survive, but of course you weren't using your cover properly to begin with. You're just out in the open. That's why the P90 player was able to get you like in the first place, slow you down and basically disabled you from going back to cover. So it's really just a thing of getting better with the rifles and pretty much every other weapon in the game so that you can counter the P90, because as I said before, it's kind of a low effort weapon. So now let's go back to mid right here. So mid is right here in cache, pretty popular. So usually if you're going out to mid, what you do is you go around and you like check the corners, of course. Go right here, then there, check the ear there, and then you go around, stuff like that. Now as you can see, usually the CTs are holding from back there. If you have an AK, of course the spread of it, if we just type in again, accuracy, like that. Alrighty, there we go. So you can see the spread with the AK is kinda large, but it's still good enough to hit the heads for the most part, or just the targets in general. Now if we compare this, let's say with a P90 right here, just firing at the range down here, you see that the spread is already a lot larger, meaning you're a lot less accurate. So essentially, the only time when you're really effective with a P90 is in close range, or if someone is just out in the open and is, I don't know, holding his knife and not his main weapon. Because pretty much any other time, as long as someone is not close up, the P90 has a higher time to kill, making it less effective. So again, even if we're going for like headshot taps like that, it's taking us some time. Usually you're not doing that. So again, with an AK, just one shot and dead. And with the P90 it took us like, what, 3 shots or something? So if we're spraying, which usually the P90 is used for, so you're coming out and you see the guy and you're just like that. You see, the spread is kinda ridiculous large. And again, towards the end I was also crouching down to get more accurate again, but we didn't hit like lots of bullets at the guy. So the P90 is only again accurate at close range. So again, if we're moving up, we're just running like that and firing, or at this guy, just like that, we're getting him at one point. And it's like the strong suit of the P90. You can run and gun at the same time. But keep in mind, just as the P90 is able to tag you, you can tag the other guy just as well with your AK or with your pistol or pretty much anything else that you use, while dealing more damage. Because, for example, one hit headshot, or with the M4 you do like one headshot and another body shot, or just in general, spraying a target down like that is faster than it is with the P90. You're dealing more damage. You just need to learn how to compensate for it. You can see the spread also right here. First shot a lot better than with P90 at that range. So, for example, in mid, the P90 is pretty much useless, so of course they can all run out, but as long as you're just staying close to your cover that you can retreat, even if you're tagged, you can then reposition yourself and go for another shot and then spray him down and deal a lot more damage like that. Now let's talk about something where the P90 is more effective. So as we already figured out, long range, it's pretty much crap. Again, just stay to the cover and you're good to go. And also make sure to aim, obviously, because as I said before, you can tag them just as well. Now, usually the route towards B is a little more close range. For example, right here, again, towards the B side on cache. Now, essentially B is usually more of a clusterfuck for the most part. That's why it's usually rush B fast, no stop, and stuff like that. So essentially, if we're entering the first contact point or line of sight right here, we're already at a much closer range if we compare it to mid right here. You see that's probably like a third of what we would have in mid if someone is holding from there, or even from there, it's like probably just half the size, so you can be a lot more accurate with that. Again, however, the P90 is not a weapon that you would use stationary, so it's usually run and gun like that. And keep in mind, as soon as you're tagging him, he also cannot do that anymore. And of course, he has to deal with like a larger spread, so it's harder for the P90 guy to actually hit you. So again, if we're coming around, let's say this is smoked off right here. So let's get a smoke grenade, smoke this one off. So you don't have to be afraid of any operators. You can just go around and straight fire at the guy, like right here. And you see, we get him down fairly quickly, but then again, if he would have had an AK or something like that, and just go for like a shot like right here, and then retreated, fell back to the next point, and again, fire like that, because the AK, the P90, the only thing that would really throw you off right here is like a jump. But see, like that spread, you're not going to hit the guy. So you don't have to be like afraid of that. Just wait until he landed again, and then you go for your shots and make sure you kill him. Again, large spread, good controlled AK recoil. That's what you want to use against that. And then again, on another hand, like the entrance towards B, in case this has been smoked off, right here this is the effective range for the P90. So you want to be aware of that, making sure that you're not overexposing yourself, holding a close angle, firing a couple of shots, then falling back, like using flashes and stuff like that to get back out of there if you got any trouble. But right here we got a guy at headshot. Now, if we want to kill this guy with the P90, we're pretty much fucked. Like you see, that's probably twice the size of his head, and we have to go tap, 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 something like that. And that's not what you do with the P90. Also, you need way more headshots in order to kill him. That's not effective. Usually run out and try to fire them like this. And of course we got this huge, like incredibly large spread. And again, the guy who has an AK right here at headshot just has to get like tap, tap, tap or spray control and will get you down. So again, if we would be trying to effectively hit the guy, it would be something like that here. And you see that's way more ineffective, and I actually used something like stutter stepping myself right here with the P90 to get a smaller spread like that. But again, that's not what it is used for. That's not what it is good at. Like every other weapon, like every other rifle that you can get, and keep in mind, an AK is only about 400 like more expensive than the P90, for example, or if you just get like a FAMAS or a Galil, they are also more effective than that, than the P90. So to wrap it up, what you have to do in order to deal with P90 players is keep your distance, make use of your long-range weapon, for example, like right here, the rifle, because the P90 player always wants to close in the distance in order to get into his effective range to deal more damage, and essentially he wants to slow you down and tag you. However, as long as you got like lots of cover, the spread will help you, like, will work against you if you're a P90 player. So again, with an AK, just hold the close angle, hold your cover, fire, retreat, and the P90 player won't be able to get you. So that's the first thing. Good positioning. And then the next thing obviously is learn how to control your recoil or to use the meta weapons like this. You see, that's way more accurate and deals a lot more damage than doing this right here. The P90 is only so strong because you haven't properly learned how to make use of that right here. Again, if you're playing a very close angle like this right here, make sure that you always expect something like a P90 rush, because if you're out in the open and not holding cover, right here the P90 will be effective against you, so make sure you're holding a good angle. And of course, the another thing is that whenever you're up against a P90 player and you're not having a long-range weapon like this, but for example, like, let's say a Tech 9. The Tech 9 is also quite strong, so even if you're up close like this, and a P90 player rushes around to kill you and is trying to, well, spray you down, you can just as much spray him down, but also the more important thing right here is go for a headshot and kill him like this. That's very, like, that's the essential point against the P90 players. It's only good up towards, like, something like below DMG. So let's actually, wait a second, get a P90 again. Only like up to DMG this is useful, because as soon as you hit like MGE, DMG, people know how to use the AK or like other weapons, go for headshots and stuff like that. And that's the main thing. As long as you're still spraying for body parts, not hitting the heads and stuff like that, you're gonna have problems against the P90 player, because he can just run around and still be somewhat accurate, as you can see, while he's running. Of course, not while jumping, but while running. So this will give you some trouble. So keep your distance, make sure you're also making the best out of your effective range of your weapon, go for headshots, and make good use of cover. And that's essentially how you deal with P90 players. Like, as long as you keep that in mind, they're not that big of an issue. Like, every time I get rushed by a P90 player, and I'm just holding my distance, I'm just like, and he's down. And that's about it. So yeah, I hope this video was somewhat helpful. I know it's kind of a thing of you need to practice more in order to get better, and that's how you deal with them. But again, just knowing the effective range and kind of what you gotta do in order to be in your effective range will already help you a lot more. And again, positioning, make sure you're holding proper angles, proper line of sight, and make use of your effective range. But yeah, I think that's pretty much for now, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and luckySkillFaker out.